Welcome to the pitch for tonight's match. Los dos en Austin Ball FC.
Pro soccer returned to the capital city of Texas back in March, and on this Wednesday night in October, the return of the postseason. Austin Bold, LA Galaxy 2 collide for a third time this year tonight to determine which of these two sides will move on to the opening round of the USL Championship Cup playoffs. Take a look, Bold and LA 8 and 9 seeds. Of course, Sacramento Republic and New Mexico United the 7 and 10 seed. Depending on how these two matches play out will determine which squad plays number 1 seed Phoenix and which squad will slot in against Reno, the 2 seed. Hi everyone, Lincoln Rose, Kit McConico one final time here in Austin as postseason has arrived back in the state capital.
It has indeed. This is what the Austin fans have been waiting all year for. The goals this year to win the Copa Tejas, they did that. Now they're in the playoffs. We'll see if they can continue, but they're going to need a win tonight.
Well, for Los Dos, of course, with Junior Gonzalez taking over mid-season, several players had to step up to make this postseason possible after a drought the past 2 years. Kai Koreniuk, a big part of this push.
He has been indeed. The 21-year-old from Florida played in the Netherlands, a very good attacking midfielder, tied for first on the team with 9 goals and tied for second on the team with 4 assists.
Similarly for the Bold, Andre Lima, 14 goals this year, led the way. Quick trivia for you, all time, who's the leading goal scorer for the Bold?
Oh, that's easy. The big Brazilian. He is your prototypical target forward, great inside the 18, 14 goals this year. Austin needs him to step up big tonight.
When we come back, opening kick from Bold Stadium, Austin and LA collide.
Number 4, Jermaine Taylor. Number 8, Javi Bailey. Number 3, Edson Brahard. Number 34, Gustavo Ricci. Number 20, Josue Soto. Number 45, Ivan Chumasi. Number 33, Sonny G. And your bowl, all led by head coach Marcelo Serrano. Let's go, Bowl!
One final time, Austin Bold trots out in front of the home crowd as they collide with Los Dos, one of the few teams that swept the Austin Bold this year, including a 3-1 comeback victory earlier this year here in Austin. Take a look at the lineups for both sides. For Los Dos, it includes Junior Gonzalez giving the nod to Justin Baumsteeg.
Baumsteeg gets to start tonight. The strength of this team right up the spine. You look at Hilliard Arce, the captain, on the back line. Koreniuk up top. Harvey, a ton of speed in the midfield.
And of course, for the Austin Bold, Diego Restrepo with those 8 clean sheets this year, back between the pipes. You'll notice, of course, they are without Kleber, serving his second match of a 4-match suspension, and that's where you'll see Sonny Guadarrama try to step in.
Yeah, they're going to need a lot from the local product. He's been out injured these last few matches. Andre Lima, obviously, always a target on his back, but Austin needs Guadarrama alongside Chumasi to step up.
Sonny Guadarrama's probably signed as many autographs this year as Kleber. Sonny being one of the hometown players. Lincoln Rose, Kit McConico with you tonight, along with Jessica Stamp down on the pitch. Jessica?
Hey, Lincoln. So we've learned a lot about this Austin Bold team in their inaugural season. We know they like to keep the ball. They like to knock the ball around. We know they're tough physically. They have one of the best goalkeeping cores, especially in Diego Restrepo. We know they like to get in line with Sean McFarland. They're third in the Western Conference in crosses. But they've struggled to finish, just like Los Angeles. So a key for both these teams is finding that finishing touch here in the playoffs. Lincoln?
Jessica, thank you. Kid, obviously no win to speak of here tonight.
No, calm night in the capital of the Lone Star State.
No, of course we are here in the Hill Country. Sun has now set. We are under the lights on a Wednesday night. Great to have you with us. Again, this past March, pro soccer returned to Austin. And for the first time since the old 3rd Division USL side, Austin Aztecs competed. Here we are playing in October.
Yeah, it's been a great year for Austin fans. They're hoping it continues for at least another match, but a tough task tonight at home.
Last time these two teams met, it was in August, back on the 10th. Chris Tierpak able to head home a corner kick on the opposite end of the pitch to give Austin a halftime lead, 1-0. But you will recall that for LA, it was Carlos Harvey who slammed a rebound home to pull level Austin, by the end of that night, would only have 9 men on the pitch, a red card, as well as another accumulation of yellows. They would be down a couple, and along the way, Los Dos would be capturing a 3-1 victory.
Harvey, the Panamanian, a dangerous player, great size, speed, really controls the midfield. Austin needs to keep a body on him as much as possible.
Here's Jorge Hernandez, one of the many Galaxy Academy products. The 18-year-old stands over this with his left boot. Looking for the opening strike, as this one will make its way harmlessly through until the Bold will send it in. Touch corner kick coming up for LA.
Poorly taken there from Los Dos. Fortunate that Austin had the last touch to it. Now the corner coming for the visitors, and they'll be looking for better service here.
So Jorge Hernandez, a couple of goals this year in his now 20th appearance, making about half of those starts this season. He'll deliver one near post. That's where Sion McFarland has the answer. Hernandez again goes probing into the top of the 18. Unable to settle it. Chuamasi has it taken off his foot. And Diego Restrepo never had to intervene after back-to-back set pieces for the visitors.
Austin, a veteran team. They have the touch, the skill, but not a lot of speed, and that's where Hima Chuamasi, the man on loan from FC Dallas, alongside Sion McFarland, the right back, who can really play anywhere on the pitch, they're going to come up big. And both of those guys need to get touches early and often.
Before LA captured that August victory here in Austin, one of just 4 teams to come in and take 3 points out of the capital city. They were sitting in 10th at the time. Of course, that was the new cutoff line this year. Austin has since dropped here to this 8th spot, which meant glass half full. They got to play in front of their fans one more time. Glass half empty. They'll have a quick turnaround if they prevail tonight for that opening round this weekend.
Well, that's something they had to deal with last week. 3 matches in the span of 8 days, all on the road. And Austin just happy to have one more match here at home and hoping that, well, this home field magic here at Bold Stadium, where they've been so good all season, will continue.
Remember the reason for the congested schedule for the Bold, the passing of Bold player Promise Isaac back on October 2nd. They properly postponed that match against the Monarchs, but of course they were going to have to make it up, which meant a midweek contest at the end of the year.
Austin having to take trips up to the Wasatch Mountains and then out to the Pacific Northwest in quick order. For a team with a lot of veterans players, some heavy legs here at the end of the season. A lot of injuries as well. Austin not with their full complement of players, and these veterans, they're tasked, well, they're going to have to play a full 90 and a quick 90 tonight.
Over in the East, plenty of fireworks as both North Carolina FC and Birmingham want to prolong their 2019 campaigns. But the most meaningful matchup getting underway tonight, other than here in Austin for these two sides, will be that involving the 7 and 10 seeds in the West, Sacramento and New Mexico. If Sacramento wins, they will play Reno, and the winner of this match will play Phoenix. If New Mexico wins that, then the winner of this match will play Reno, and New Mexico United will be fed to that side that caught fire mid-season and only suffered that one blemish the rest of the way.
Yeah, what a year it's been from Phoenix. The Rising just on fire all year long.
And your other Eastern Conference matchup tonight, also level late. Remember, we don't just settle for a draw from now on. They will tack on the 30 minutes of extra time if 90 minutes is not enough. After 120 minutes, then you go to the shootout of 5 rounds or more.
This is what you want to see from Austin, a team that likes to possess, knock the ball around. Good switch of field from Reese, the man on loan from Cruzeiro in Brazil.
Yeah, Reese, a late addition for Marcelo Serrano's side as he joined them August 12th on loan from Campeonato Brazil, the top level. As, of course, Marcelo Serrano, 39-year-old, out of Brazil in his own right, helping create this pipeline along with general manager Roberto Pinto da Silva.
A lot of South American talent, specifically from Brazil, coming up. Coach Serrano, a busy man, also the U.S. Virgin Islands team coach, along with being the head man of the Bold.
Bold came into this year one of the older sides as an expansion team. But plenty left in the tank. They did, over the past couple of months, mindfully manage minutes of some of the key players. At times, though, that may have cost them some higher seeds here in the USL Championship Cup playoffs.
Yeah, they had a few opportunities, specifically a trip up to Colorado Springs. They were unable to get a result there against the Switchbacks, who were near the bottom of the table.
Ball fed up ahead to Koreniuk. Koreniuk will send one in. Restrepo will leave nothing to chance.
That is where Austin is vulnerable. The veteran team, the older legs, when they commit numbers forward, teams with a chance to counter. Koreniuk, good ball in, but not a teammate in the vicinity.
Again, Koreniuk this year, 2,100 minutes, 9 goals, 4 assists to show for it. Tied for the team high in successful strikes into the back of the net of the opponent. As they help back up Kamara. Mo Kamara was just starting to find his groove with Los Dos last time we saw them here in town. Would go on to find 4 goals in this brief stretch.
This team has just been a different side since Junior Gonzalez took over midway through the season. It's really sparked a change, a much improved side with 7 victories.
Another set piece opportunity, this one farther out for Los Dos. Into the top of the 6th, and Restrepo has it. We will point out in advance, no water break will be necessary tonight, but we will have stoppage in play in the 11th minute to recognize number 11, the late Promise Isaac. Baez and his teammates into the box. Lays one out, bold strike early. It's Chuamasi.
Emma Chuamasi with the goal, but give all the credit to the former Chivas Guadalajara man, Javi Baez. He is the engine of this team, the unsung hero. A great outlet from Restrepo. Baez able to track it down, gets around the defender. He was patient in the box, waited, and a perfect pass. All Chuamasi had to do was redirect it in goal.
19th match for the FC Dallas talent, on loan with Austin Bold to suit up here in the USL Championship. He now has 4 goals to show for it.
And that is a dream start for Austin. Here at home, the home fans loud as always. Austin knew they needed to get off to a good start. A team that does not play well from behind. Baez able to find Chuamasi, the man from Ghana, on loan from FC Dallas, in a clinical finish.
Maybe some foreshadowing, maybe a spoiler popping up there. Just 1 goal so far for Emma Chuamasi here tonight. Of course, the 11th overall draft choice of FC Dallas 2 years ago, arrived in town this summer along with Francis Atuahene.
Atuahene, another native of Ghana, another FC Dallas loanee. And I mentioned it, the one thing that Chuamasi brings that this team does not have in great amounts is speed. He is a fast player up and down the flank, and you saw it shown off there.
Well, I did not go back and look at the starting 11, but I wouldn't swear that he was in the midfielder up top against Los Dos. He may very well have been on that back row because of some players unavailable back then. He's played at all 3 levels.
He has, and he started the season for Austin when he came down from Dallas on the back line. He played as a defender. They saw his ability to press forward. They moved him up into the midfield, and now he's a forward this evening.
And how about this gentleman? Shows up mid-season, Junior Gonzalez. All they do is go 7-4-4 down the stretch under his guidance, including a +7 goal differential. Mind you, it's a team that he inherited that was a -10. And here's Los Dos after a 2-year absence. McFarland had the opposing keeper, Vom Steeg, off his line. Now if you're Los Dos, though, you're not hanging your head. You were behind a goal against Austin right here back in August, came back to win it 3-1.
They did indeed, and a lot of that was because of Harvey, what he was able to do through the midfield. They're going to be looking for him to link up, get things started. Junior Gonzalez, final 10 matches there with Los Dos, 4-4-2. He has been outstanding.
This ball in touch, and this is the 11th minute. And again, it was earlier this month that we lost Promise Isaac.
Join us as we honor the memory of the man who brought so much grace to the number 11, Promise Isaac. We ask that you turn your attention to the video board as we remember our teammate and our friend.
Kit, you and I, fortunate to call some of the high moments this year for Promise. He would suit up for the Bold 20 times this year. 15 starts for the former captain of the Nigerian national team. Scored that goal against the United States back in 08 in that runner-up performance. You can only imagine, as fond as we were of Promise, how emotional it is for these men who lived by his side.
You're exactly right, and I had the opportunity to speak with some of them, including Tion McFarland Jr., very quickly after the passing of Promise. And everything he achieved on the pitch, his silver medal in the Olympics with the Nigerian national team, all his years playing in Saudi Arabia, Turkey, and now in Austin, that is dwarfed by the kind of man he was off the pitch. And that is what everyone who was ever close to him told me, that he was as good a person as you were ever going to find, not just in the game of soccer, but in life.
Obviously, just his 1 year here in Austin, the 31-year-old saw his life cut way too short. Promise with the Bold, 3 goals this year in USL Championship play. Also had that goal in a near comeback in the US Open Cup playoffs against the Houston Dynamo. But more impressive than his stats in his soccer career, who he was. Family-first individual. He does leave behind his wife and his family. But such heartbreaking news received back on October 2nd. Official cause of death, a heart attack. They found him in the weight room of the apartment complex. And this is just, you don't know how his teammates, even though they're up a goal right now will respond to that pause in play.
You don't. And how they were going to respond after the fact, were they going to crumble or were they going to step to the situation and try to honor him?
Lima just couldn't settle that ball. Baez. Bold had a couple of quality opportunities, just couldn't do it. And Okugo looking for his first goal since that brace against New Mexico earlier this year.
And that would be appropriate. Hamobi Okugo, his parents are Nigerian. He was Promise's roommate when they were traveling on the road together, and I spoke with him shortly thereafter. And
I don't see
he initially was at a loss for words, and then he and I talked at great length about Promise, and he said he personally wants to honor him, and everyone on the team does, and they can do a big step in that with a victory tonight.
Corner kick coming up for the Austin Bold, already a 1-goal advantage, as Javi Baez was able to dial up Emma Tuamasi. Baez to do the honors here. Javi, the 32-year-old out of Reynosa, Mexico.
I mentioned some of the resumes. Baez, one of the top, played for a long time in Mexico for the Giants of Guadalajara and Chivas, won the CONCACAF Champions League with Cruz Azul, Necaxa. Austin very happy to have him.
He'll send this one in. Front post, headed home. It's Austin up a pair, but the flag is raised.
Who scored it?
Lima looking for his 15th of the season, and more often than not, they have come off the forehead of number 99, but this time in an offside position. The ball flicked onto him. He was at the back post. No one for Los Dos in the vicinity as we take another look. Good service from Baez, flicked on by McFarland right there. And Lima just inches offside.
If it didn't need to be redirected, would have been fair game, but Lima drawing the flag. And it is just a 1-goal match thus far.
You mentioned it. Los Dos, they've beaten Austin in the 2 meetings this year. They were down on this very field to Austin 1-0. They came back for a 3-1 victory. And for the visitors from the City of Angels, they just want to go back to that game plan. Be patient. Don't allow Austin anything easy and keep pressing. But right now, very little possession for the visitors.
Let's check back in with Jessica Stamp.
Yeah, Lincoln, head coach Junior Gonzalez, right after the goal was scored, he made sure to yell to his back line to stay calm, stay composed. It's very early, and they seem a bit shaken up by that early goal and the tempo that the Bulls are playing. That's what Coach Serrano wanted, is a very fast, high-speed game from the start, and they've got that here at the beginning. Lincoln?
You want speed? You got Sion McFarland ready to come through for you.
Jamaican has it in spades. What he told me this week was energy. The team that has more energy in this match, chances are, is going to come away victorious. And right now, that's the veteran home side.
Sion's your right back on the, again, outside with 12 assists to lead Austin this year.
Well, the days of a flat back four, those are well over. McFarland plays as much offense as defense, but he makes sure to take care of those defensive responsibilities first and foremost.
Hard to believe he was with Miami FC last year. Easy to believe the success Miami FC had last year.
He has that Austin connection, played for former Austin Aztecs coach Paul Dalglish when he was with Miami FC. He moved to the Sunshine State from Jamaica at the age of 12. He said back then he was a forward. When he moved to the States, they put him on the back line. It took some adjusting, but you still see that offensive knack that McFarland has.
Both these teams finished the year with 48 points. The difference was Austin with 13 wins, Los Dos with 12, and again, 2 of those 12 at the expense of Josue Soto and the Bold. Take a look at the most recent whistle.
Soto, a foul, no doubt about it. And
it was close, right?
Yeah, why not? How that one didn't see yellow, I don't know. There's such thing as shoulder to shoulder, but
Josue was late to make his debut with Austin this year with that knee injury, then settled in as a constant over there on that left side.
He's on loan from Gallos Blancos of Querétaro, another Mexican League product.
McFarland finds Lima in right place, right time. Von Stieg secures it in the gut.
And Lima put that one anywhere else, it would be a 2-0 lead for Austin. McFarland and Lima, they have that connection. They practice it for so many months this year. McFarland said that's something we do every single day.
Anywhere else, it's 2-0.
Beautiful service. But as good as Lima is in the air, he has to put that someplace else.
Justin Von Stieg sharing honors between the pipes with Eric Lopez for much of this year. Justin making his 17th start. Soto. Oh. And Los Dos up to the task of getting it back up to the midfield.
This is a position Los Dos not used to being in. They are generally the aggressor, and right now they're on their back heels.
Koreniuk surrenders it, hoping to get it back. They'll send it to Restrepo. If he doesn't squeeze that one in and smother it, Koreniuk finds your equalizer.
By my count, that's just the second real shot on goal. You had that cross earlier from Koreniuk, but not a lot of opportunities for Los Dos thus far. Austin dictating the style and pace of this match.
30th start on the year for Restrepo. We saw Juan David Ramirez get the start in the season finale against Tacoma. That was a match that Austin saw slip away, 3-1.
Restrepo is good at goalkeepers you're going to find anywhere in the USL Championship. 2017 goalkeeper of the year, former national champion at UVA. He's played professionally here in the States as well as in Venezuela and Colombia. He is a rock in the 18 for Austin.
Koreniuk was looking for the give and go, trying to get back to Fidesz. Instead, the foul will win this ball back for LA Galaxy 2.
Interesting matchup here along this left touchline between McFarland and Koreniuk. Koreniuk generally is going to get the better of defenders. I don't know if that's going to be the case tonight as long as number 17 in black is marking him.
Remember, last time these two sides met, Austin had 2 defenders serving suspension, and then by the end of the night, 2 of the defenders they did have available each wound up being escorted off the pitch with red cards. Austin full strength on that back line and a lot of talent waiting in the wings.
Exactly right. And a bit surprised that Los Dos isn't embracing this up-tempo match that Austin wants to play. A younger team, they have speed, great players on the bench. You figured that they would want to press the pace as much as possible and see if they can tire out Austin.
Guido Gonzalez Jr. has asked for stoppage and play to talk things over with LA. And there you see a young man who was a handful the last time he was in Austin with Jose Hernandez, that constantly running motor of his.
Yeah, Jose Hernandez was incredible. He was the guy. He was instigating everything, and sometimes that wasn't a good thing for Los Dos. The officials having a few words with him, but always finding a way to get around the ball, and that's a knack that Hernandez certainly has.
23-year-old Al of Mexico City, played his college ball over at UCLA. More recently with the Real Monarchs here in the USL Championship. So, mind you, they don't just settle for a point apiece anymore. That means 30 more minutes coming up for fans watching that matchup. Will LA be able to force extra time here in the capital city? They trailed at halftime the last time these two teams met by 1, only to explode for a 3-goal second half.
Austin has not been particularly good at finding that insurance goal. They've too often lingered with a 1-goal lead and let their opponents get back into matches.
Vides. Hernandez back out wide. And access denied.
Good to see the Austin midfield getting into the act defensively.
And a foul coming up for the Tug. It's going to be a free kick. And some pretty sweet real estate here for Los Dos.
Kurniak able to win the foul, just forcing something to happen. Brafai, the former Dutch international, commits the infraction, and this is the best opportunity thus far. The question is, who will take it for Los Dos? You see 3, 4 men in white. They all want to crack at it.
Of course, it was Harvey, just on the edge of your screen, who found the equalizer back in August.
And he has the power to rip a net off the hinges right now. Jose and Jorge Hernandez debating which will take it.
The law firm of Hernandez and Hernandez gathering over the ball. Los Abogados deciding which one it will be. Will it be the right boot or the left boot?
It looks like it's going to be the Chilango, Jose Hernandez.
He'll step over. Jorge lines it up. Can't get it underneath the wall. And there is a bold defender down right now. Can LA capitalize as Jermaine Taylor in some discomfort? Was it his ankle that ball bit?
Tense moments for Austin. Good to see the captain, Taylor, back on his feet. Former Jamaican national team man, well over 100 matches for the Reggae Boys, and he has been the general, the captain of the back line from day one.
Yeah, caught that big toe on his left foot.
The elder statesman, one of the numerous Jamaicans in USL Championship, and it seems like whoever Austin plays, whatever Jamaicans they have on the team, come over to pay respect to Jermaine Taylor, and rightfully so.
Over 140 matches in Major League Soccer before joining the Austin Bold. Emma Chuamasi's 4th goal on the year. Your difference right now, and of course Andre Lima, who thought he found insurance on a rebound header, called offside. And another foul on Austin. They're going to have to be careful. Brafide now back-to-back whistles.
Sim Brafide again. Came out in that 2010 World Cup final for the Netherlands when they fell to Spain 1-0. Just committing some poor fouls, and that's one thing Austin has seen from him. They didn't have him early in the season. He was dealing with visa issues. He was finally cleared to play, But he's been suspended, yellow card accumulation. He's picked up some reds, and he needs to be careful he doesn't end up in the book early in this one.
Marcelo Serrano with Ryan Thompson. Biggest regret this year is Ryan Thompson, his assistant coach, is listed as your third-string goalkeeper, and we just never saw him put those gloves back on.
Well, when you have goalkeepers like Diego Restrepo and Juan David, quality that Austin has, and those two, Ramirez, the youngster on loan from Atlético Nacional, they have not needed the services of the former Jamaican national team goalkeeper Thompson, even though he could still play, I guarantee you.
90 minutes is all they needed over there in Cary with Birmingham prevailing, upsetting the home crowd over at Wake Med. Again, this is not like the NCAA tournament during basketball season where you, after a playoff game, already know which team they are slotted to face. These two teams are at the mercy of that one other play-in game in the West. Phoenix will play the worst remaining seed, while Reno will play the other play-in victor. Now, with that said, I don't think Austin minds either way. Frankly, when you look at how they performed, they played their best matches against the top of the league. They are one of those losses handed to Phoenix this year. It was actually against the bottom of the league and several teams not even in the postseason where Austin found its struggles.
I've heard it both ways. Edson Barafa had smiled and said of those two, he would rather have another crack at Phoenix, where Sion McFarland said, I think the weather in Reno may be a little better, so that's where he would like to go. But right now, they're not worried about that. They're worried about getting a result tonight.
Sion McFarland is down right now as he sneaks back into your picture. Bold with possession would have probably liked to have played that one out, but that is a no-win situation when you are the man in charge. Guido Gonzalez Jr. with player safety on his mind stops the play.
McFarland in obvious pain, grasping the top of his boot there at the instep. And these days, those boots so thin, offer no protection whatsoever.
You'll see the knock right here.
And just stepped on, clear as day, the studs onto the instep of McFarland. He'll do the best he can to shake it off. And for Austin, not thus far able to come up with that insurance goal, this is huge. And you get the feeling that Los Dos, kind of like that previous match here, just hanging around, biding their time, waiting for Austin to kind of run themselves out of energy before they strike.
Sion giving the license plate number of Fides to Mr. Gonzalez. It's hard to get stressed out around Marcelo Serrano.
He is a calm, cool, collected individual. Coached with the Brazilian youth national teams and youth national teams here in the States as well. A gentleman who's got it pretty well figured out. Had the opportunity to spend some time with him this year, and it's been a real pleasure to get to know him.
His roster probably features the most impressive LinkedIn pages, or the thickest resumes, and yet he is able to get all those what you would assume to be egos of accomplished footballers to all blend together.
He absolutely is, and it's incredible when you talk to these players, guys like Edson Barafa, who played in a World Cup final, guys like Javi Baez, who played in Mexico for 10 years and won numerous trophies. They all say the same thing, that they are in Austin because of Coach Serrano, and he's that kind of magnetic personality that brings people together.
On the opposite end of things, Junior Gonzalez steps in mid-season with Los Dos. Again, a team that made it to the 2015 USL final, but a drought the past couple of years. Unable to reach the postseason. He works with a roster of young men who are just a few years removed from their high school prom.
And for Gonzalez, he's a great guy for that job. A former UCLA Bruin, he won a national championship there in Westwood. He understands the city, he understands this program as good as anyone does. I think they've found the perfect fit. Harvey there, a few words. Carlos Harvey and Edson Barafa. Those are two gentlemen that will take exception given any opportunity.
They've already been tangled up earlier tonight. Of course, Barafa has had a couple of fouls called his way.
Brunfheid grew up in Suriname, moved to the Netherlands at the age of 7, played in that Ajax youth system. What a career he had. I mentioned his time with Bayern Munich, played for Celtic, and the longest stretch in FC Utrecht in the Netherlands.
We'll see how long that embrace and memories of the good times linger. And Brunfheid 36, Camera 21. And as Kamara in his 10th game to suit up for Los Dos.
Austin needs to be careful. Los Dos, a bit more possession these last few minutes. They're playing more physically.
And out comes the yellow. It's awarded to Lima. And Andre is on notice.
We need to take another look here. And that is, obviously, some of that is a much larger and a smaller man, but Harvey continuing, and you certainly can't fault him there, stepping up for his teammate. That is one man who Austin needs for the full 90 of this match, if not the extra time. And I'm not quite sure about that one. Harvey, he made a meal of that. Give him credit. Carlos Harvey, he's not a small man.
So a set piece here for Los Angeles, down by a goal. They have trailed for the majority of this opening half. Looking to pull it level. And just angled one.
One of the strengths of Los Dos is in those set pieces, the corners, the crosses. 180 coming into today, that's 4th most in all of the championship. A team that likes to get the ball wide, send it in.
The wave is making its way around. One of the more audible waves. And Lima taken out from behind. And there's no advantage being played there. And now a foul on Austin. Wow.
And our referee, Guido Gonzalez Jr., needs to be careful. This is the moment of the match, and just half an hour in where this one could really get away. You've already seen tempers flare on numerous occasions.
This is the call, and, well, Carlos Harvey was anticipating some contact and had that elbow ready. Meanwhile, moments earlier, is Lima blindsided. We try not to drift into analogies with other sports, but it reminds you of Shaquille O'Neal when he would touch somebody gracefully half his size. Obviously, they would go down, but then the amount of abuse a bigger man like O'Neal would take, and still no calls. Lima, your sizable target forward for the Bold, not getting any love.
That's something he's used to. Generally, if there's a collision, the whistle's going to go against Andre Lima.
Diego Restrepo with a goal advantage to defend here in the first half.
Impressed with the energy Austin has played with here in the first half an hour.
And that's another shot delivered from Harvey.
That was only a matter of time. If those fouls continued in that vein from Carlos Harvey, he was going to see yellow sooner rather than later, and that came about 45 seconds after the last foul.
We saw those elbows out earlier.
That time, I think Andre Lima taking a page from the Carlos Harvey acting book. Both of them in the book, and maybe well-deserved if that's the case.
Was going to make a Barry reference, but I'm not sure if this is the audience for it. '35th minute. Austin has not threatened that frame since the offside call disallowed the goal from Lima. And he's going to be called for the foul. Andre thought there was a case that he was undercut, but instead ball back over to LA.
In the last 5 minutes, this match has really degenerated. Just no flow whatsoever, fouls, and you understand the referee has to blow the whistle. I'd like to see it get back to what we saw early on. Fast and furious, box to box, entertaining.
Certainly the Bold would like to see that as well. They controlled the opportunities early. Each side has had a man receive a yellow since. Lima able to turn. Out to McFarland. And excellent work by that back line of LA, able to pluck it away from Sion.
And what a job indeed, sticking a tackle perfectly. Situation where you're inside the box, can't make any contact.
But it's right back with the Bold. Both of these men so capable with the distribution. McFarland, a tad tall, and it'll slip away from Chuamasi.
That's a good ball, a nice cross from Sion McFarland Jr. That's the case where Chuamasi, you need to stay a little further out towards the edge of the box. You have Andre Lima inside at the top of the 6. He's obviously going to be the target, but if that ball gets through as it does there needs to be somebody on the back line.
Yeah, number 17 in black will cover as much ground as anybody tonight. And Baez is not on the same page with Sion. They'll reset back through Diego. Past few years, Restrepo with San Antonio FC in that goalkeeper battle with Matt Cardoni. Both of them capable starters when Austin announced it was going to return to the USL Championship. Restrepo, one of the early additions. And about an hour and a half move up north for him. That was welcomed.
Austin, they built this team from the back, and that was on purpose. They wanted a solid defense, and you saw that in the results early this season. They didn't score a lot of goals. It takes time for your midfield and your forwards to get on the same page, but they've done that.
Koreniuk, eyes up pitch, just unable to bend it around. The center back altering that angle, Jermaine Taylor, as this one just has to settle one.
He had Ethan Zubak. You see Zubak making that diagonal run to the top of the 18 across. I think he would have been better served to try to lay it off to his fellow goal scorer, number 29.
Again, a reminder, Austin is shorthanded tonight with Kleber unavailable. During that matchup against the Monarchs, when they rescheduled, Kleber awarded a red, while head coach Marcelo Serrano also invited to leave the matchup. Both of them serving a suspension in the season finale against Tacoma. So Serrano back tonight. Kleber still 2 more matches he'll have to sit out. If Austin got hot and put together a memorable run into the Western Conference Finals, then Kleber would be eligible again. And of course, there's a slight chance they'd be hosting that round if they made it that far. Right now, they're just concerned about getting into what is called the first round.
Kleber sorely missed his 9 goals. Fellow strike partner of his countryman, Andre Lima, up top. 2 played together at Gremio. Kleber, a long time playing for Dynamo Kiev in Ukraine. Another very talented player with an impressive resume.
Los Dos in white tonight. Austin Bold in the black and teal. It was all Austin early, including that opening goal, but LA Galaxy 2 has had their share of moments and opportunities to pull this one level.
And the difference so far in this match, that second goal, Austin thought they found the equalizer. It was disallowed. Andre Lima in an offside position. That would have made it 2-0, but just 1-0. And Los Dos, make no mistake about it, this team remembers their last trip here to the Lone Star State when they were here in Austin trailing 1-0, and they came back for a 3-1 win.
Let's check back in with Jessica.
Yeah, Lincoln, I was standing by Coach Gonzalez, and he's just not pleased with the pace of play. He feels like LA is playing way too slow and with no urgency going forward. He's asking his guys to swing it and switch it much faster than they're doing right now. Lincoln?
Jessica, thank you. Of course, she's essentially the most qualified eyes and ears we could have down there, former midfielder for UCLA. And well, that was the case certainly in the early moments. I think both sides playing a little slower than they would like, as it's been a physical affair these past 15 minutes or so. Opportunity up ahead with Zubak. One of your leaders with 9 goals this year, and perhaps a little too long of a stroll.
Well, that's a situation where everybody back defending for Los Dos. You only have 3 men up in the attacking third. Austin easily able to win it back.
Sion McFarland right into the arms of Vom Steeg. And Sion is down. That's twice. Bold with a great opportunity. Gifted right to the opposing keeper. It's also the second time that Sion is slow to get up.
McFarland shows off his speed. Great work coming in. Harvey, talk about a box-to-box midfielder, and just enough. It was a clean tackle, shoulder to shoulder, well-placed, well-timed. McFarland down on the pitch in obvious pain.
Harvey's previous stop in his home country of Panama.
That's a tackle that Harvey has to make cleanly. There's no room for error there. If so, the referee's going to point to the penalty spot.
It was Junior Gonzalez who saw his men awarded a penalty to take a lead back in August here on this end of the pitch. It's Augustine who would handle that one. They would find insurance late. Right now, the concern for Sion McFarland. And perhaps a physical match would favor Los Dos, the younger side, as Austin would love to play up-tempo on a wide-open pitch.
And you heard from Jessica what Junior Gonzalez was saying to his men. Not pleased, and understandably so. A younger team, generally a faster team, but so far they're slowing things down and having trouble getting out of their own defensive third.
McFarland is fresh off that attack that had to have had everybody back on the West Coast holding their breath, that Vom Steeg would be able to intervene.
Good save for Vom Steeg, and helped out McFarland. Just put it right into his breadbasket. You would imagine McFarland, he'll be back on the pitch if at all possible. He's a player that Austin cannot afford to lose.
Your lone goal scorer with the ball at his feet. Drawing attention from 3 defenders. And the numbers game added up for Los Dos. And they're going to say that was not all ball for Braffon.
Braffite has to be careful. We've already seen a player from each side, Harvey and Lima, both see yellow. And if I had to guess, Braffite's going to be the next. Braffite just getting there a tad late. Harvey again the man on the spot.
Koreniuk sends one up to the 6th. Restrepo with the answer somehow.
Diego Restrepo has done it all year long. He has kept Austin in matches. He's kept their lead intact, and he does so again here. By all accounts, that should have been the equalizer, and it would have been had that been any other goalkeeper in frame except for Diego Restrepo.
Can Austin survive with this 1-goal advantage? We're moments away from the half. They'll play the advantage. Guadarrama taken out from behind. Carlos Harvey again tends to be in the area.
The big disconnect right now for Austin between their forwards and their midfield. When they get that ball up the midfield, they're slow to get there in support. And Austin at a numerical disadvantage offensively as we take another look at the save from Restrepo. What a job. Beautiful flick on. Restrepo just reflexes. That's one you can't even think about. You just react to.
Fans, you can continue to enjoy the USL on ESPN through the 2022 season. The USL excited to announce Championship in League One will remain with the leader in sports for 3 more years. ESPN Plus continues to be the home of all things USL, and at least 19 games a year will be featured on the ESPN family of networks, including 9 games on ESPN Deportes. You can continue to follow, support, and watch your club on ESPN and ESPN Plus. 4 additional minutes here in the opening half. Baez, a rocket, inches over the crossbar.
Baez is the man in those long-distance free kicks. And this one just sailed over the top. Stieg very happy to see that one. Just about 2 inches too tall.
Baez had himself a night against Tacoma, but it just wasn't enough. Can LA find a way to take that 0 off the board before both teams head to the locker room? Raffine, and an excellent effort on that back line to take Vom Stieg off the hook.
Yeah, well read, perfectly intercepted.
Depew, or pardon me, Bereniak.
This is what Junior Gonzalez wants to see. More switch of field, trying to get Austin shaded to one side.
Former Washington Husky Fides sends one in, but right to Restrepo, not the best effort.
And just too far into the 6. That's a ball you want to put about 2 yards outside of the 6, about the 8 or 9 yard mark in the box, and force Restrepo to make a decision if he's going to come out there and get caught in no man's land.
Of course, the road to the 2019 USL Championship final continues this Saturday, October 26th, with a full slate of conference quarterfinal matches. It'll begin at 3 o'clock Eastern on ESPN Plus for specific match dates and times. Of course, you can visit uslchampionship.com and tune in for every minute of playoff action on ESPN Plus. Great to have you with us here in the Western Conference tonight in one of the 2 play-in matches here in the West. The other one taking place in Sacramento between the Republic, your 2014 champions, Chuamasi almost setting himself up. And Mexico United on the road, one of the other successful expansion sides able to crack the playoffs here in their first year. Guadarrama. Well, with no number 9 for Austin tonight, 45 has been the popular target when they move that ball up top.
He has, and he's the one who's going to be playing in that 9 spot, a little bit behind the target forward. Chuamasi's done a good job. He's shown his speed and responsible for the only goal thus far.
Justin Fides, again, eyes up pitch, wondering if this will be the trip that leads to that first goal and the equalizer for LA. 1 half complete. And possibly for one of these 2 sides, just 1 half remaining in 2019. Javi Baez dialing up Emma Chuamasi, the lone goal so far for Diego Restrepo and company to defend. They could be 1 half away from moving on to the first round. How homerific have I been? Tonight's match is brought to you by Ascension Seton, the official medical provider and sports medicine partner of your Austin Bold. Courtyard by Marriott. Step up your stay at the Courtyard Austin Pflugerville, where winners feel at home. And by HEB, the official grocery store of your Austin Bold. No store does more than HEB. Right now, the Bold doing just enough. One goal in that opening half to show for their 45 minutes here in their first trip to the postseason as they lead Los Dos at intermission.
And it's my pleasure to welcome all of you to Del Seton Medical Center at the University of Texas for a very exciting announcement this morning, to where we're announcing that Ascension Seton is both the title sponsor and the medical provider for the new Austin Bold here in Texas. So we're very excited for that. So when the players, athletes, or families need care, we're going to be there and have the people available for you on the field. And you can rest assured that Ascension Seton and our affiliated physicians will be ready to serve. And so with that, I'd like to welcome up to the stage the owner of our new soccer team, the Austin Bold, Bobby Epstein.
You know, I was trying to think of a lot of the similarities, and there are a lot of similarities between Ascension Seton and the work they do, and the Austin Bold, and the work we try and do. With all the giving you do, we want to be meaningful too. And for that, and to show our commitment to this community, the Bold are going to give 5% of all their ticket sales to Dell Children's Hospital.
North Texas Soccer Club, Greenville Triumph. Who will be the one? Going for goal, a great save from Zobek. Almaguer going for goal, pushed aside by Jay. Deflecting around, the shot coming, and it's in! The opening goal for North Texas. And there's the final whistle. North Texas Soccer Club, #1 in League One.
Served in. Clever will take his shot. He fires it home. In the ball. Oh, it's excellent finish. Right and in. Inside the box, over there. Blue one. Shot. Guys can find Mancelli, who takes it out of the air and forces a brilliant save.
That's a great goal.
Post. Mordida puts it in. Big shot. He scores.
He's going to take a shot, and Tambakis diving to parry it away.
Backhand finds the head of his man, and Reno has leveled.
Still Saxeni. It's a drive, and what a save by Matt Pickens.
Anybody's in front of him. Can he pick it out? It's a shot down. It's off the post and in. It's right on. What a hit. New Mexico equalizes in the dying moments.
Brown, oh! What a goal that is!
Will deliver the cross, and Olsen Smith it.
Lambert, oh, he put it in!
Huge save there from Diego Restrepo.
Just watch this.
Goal, Orange County!
Ropapa with the left foot, that's a spectacular save from Castanera.
This match is brought to you by Dell Children's Ascension, the official charity partner of Austin Bold FC. By Courtyard by Marriott. Step up your stay at the Courtyard Austin Pflugerville, where winners feel at home. And by HEB, the official grocery store of your Austin Bold. No store does more than HEB. Well, what an emotional moment it was in that 11th minute. This is the first match in Austin since the passing of number 11, Promise Isaac. And Austin already had a goal advantage, but you can only imagine how emotional and just unnatural that moment was for competitors wanting to be at the top level, but at the same time paying proper tribute. This was Sion McFarland back during that 11th minute as all emotions swirling. Also coming up here, we are nestled into turn 15 of the Circuit of the Americas, the F1 Grand Prix coming up this upcoming month. And of course, it's not just as simple as the winner of this match playing Phoenix or the winner of this match playing Reno. We have to first determine whether or not it will be Sacramento or New Mexico moving on to know where the winner of this matchup slots in.
A lot still to be determined. Austin, 45 minutes to play, as is the case for Los Dos, and I anticipate a very entertaining second half, and I'm feeling we're not done with goals just yet.
Phoenix, as the number 1 seed, rightfully so, is permitted to play the worst seed remaining. So whether that be the 10 seed, the 9 seed, or the 8 seed, we will determine that by the time you go to bed tonight. Of course, Reno will then get the other squads. So again, Bold or Los Dos could be headed either to Phoenix or to Reno this weekend for the conference quarterfinals in the West. And we take a look at the 3 other matchups underway, and Birmingham right now is moving on. Pay no attention to that score over there in Austin. I'm sure there's got to be something that happened in that first half. Ottawa and Charleston has played the full 120. They're getting ready for a shootout, and of course later on tonight over there on the West Coast, that will determine where either Austin or LA will advance into that opening round. Of course, our score is Austin up by 1 here at the break. We step aside. When we come back, some first half highlights and stats as both teams start to emerge from the locker room. Blame on Jagu.
It's all John's fault.
Halftime in Austin. Bold found 1 goal in that opening half as Javi Baez able to dial up Emma Chuamasi.
As beautiful cross on the spot, able to knock it back. The ball sent up to him from Restrepo. Great service out of the back up to Baez. Baez somehow able to get around the final defender, kept his footing. Just patience in the box, cut back, laid off Chuamasi, and no mistake on the finish.
Bold were moving the ball around at will, it seemed like, in those opening 10-plus minutes. They thought they had insurance a little bit later in the first half.
They did. The corner from Baez flicked on from McFarland at the back post, lying in wait. Andre Lima, but was offside. Could not double the Austin lead.
Lima's still stuck on 14 goals this year. He has been in the area. At the same time, he's been involved in some of the physicality here tonight, as we have seen each side pick up one yellow. We might see a little more color in the second half as well.
I'd be surprised if we didn't. Taking a look at the first half stats, possession, Austin dominated possession for the first 20 minutes, and then Los Dos started to work their way back into it. They had more possession in the final 15. It'll be interesting to see which side we see early in the second half. But keep an eye out for Los Dos. They were building confidence, had more of the ball, and Junior Gonzalez has to be pleased with that.
So again, fans in the Austin area getting to take in their first men's soccer postseason since that PDL side was trying to defend its national championship with a young man named Chris Tierpak, who had led them to the title the year prior. The next year they'd come up short in the conference finals. This is the second time a Division II side has made it into the postseason. Of course, the first time those old Aztecs that would go on to become Orlando City. Let's check back in with Jessica Stamp down on the pitch.
Yeah, Lincoln, so as you guys talked about, Los Dos didn't play very well in the first half. A key for coach was that they moved the ball a lot faster. They're just taking way too much time across the board. Transitions as well, they're getting back slow. They were really worried about Austin's restarts. For the Bold, though, that's what's working, is playing the ball quickly and beating LA to the ball. They have just been beating the Galaxy to the ball every single time. So that's going to continue to be a key for them, is keeping the ball as much as possible. Guys?
Thank you, Jessica. The question is, Lincoln, can Austin keep up the energy? This is an older team, a veteran team, and can they play with that same tenacity, that same speed, win the 50-50 balls when we get to the 70th, the 80th, and 90th minute?
Diego Restrepo eyeing a 9th clean sheet on the year. If he can secure that, then the Bold move on to the opening round. Of course, he missed out on the postseason last year with San Antonio FC. They were just on the outside looking in. Felt like they were in the playoffs a month before everybody else, needing results each and every one of those final few weeks. And you see one of the changes made by Junior Gonzalez to start the second half. Well, you'd think that would be good news for Austin. Jose Hernandez's night is done in his place. It'll be Brian Olowski. Now, Hernandez was not a huge factor in the first half tonight. Boy, was he a pest back in August.
He absolutely was. He's one of those guys I mentioned, just always around the ball. He knows where to be, makes things happen. Olowski, big shoes to fill. Jose Hernandez on the bench for the second half.
So Olowski makes a rare appearance off the bench. Of his first 15 matches, 13 starts, had 2 goals, 4 assists to show for it. Former UCLA Bruin, most recently competing in Poland. Lincoln Rose, Kip McConico, Jessica Stamp, along with our crew here in Austin. Great to have you with us on this Wednesday night, where the number of teams playing professional soccer in the USL Championship are going to slowly but surely thin out until we have our last team in the West standing and our last team in the East.
What a night for this match. Perfect weather. Both teams enjoying it.
Restrepo got to it just in time as Ethan Zubak had a nose for that ball. Just couldn't get to it in time.
La Cinco Doce, supporters group of Austin Bold FC here in the 5-1-2.
Remember, this was an LA side that also had a lead against Phoenix. In fact, Zubak had given them that lead at the time, only to see Phoenix come back. That was a Phoenix Rising side that just toyed with so many teams down the stretch, sometimes scoreless going into the second half before the #1 team in the West would explode offensively. There you see the home record for the Bold, the away record for LA, and frankly, that's a good mark in the West for a road team for Los Dos this year. A foul call setting up an opportunity here for Austin. A lot of that came late. This was a Western Conference where even the best teams truly struggled away from home.
They did indeed, and as good as the Western Conference was from top to bottom, we didn't know who was going to make the playoffs until the final few matches. If you're picking up draws on the road, you have to be pleased. Austin's so good at home. The hometown hero, Sonny G, wins a dangerous free kick for the Bold.
If this was NASCAR, Carlos Harvey would be wearing a lot of black paint from those kits that the Bold are wearing.
Remember, he's sitting on a yellow. He picked it up in the 35th minute of the first half. Lima, he picked up his 5 minutes previous. The only 2 players to see yellow thus far. Guadarrama.
Sonny G's brake lights apparently were just out.
A local product out of Cedar Park, just north of Austin. Longtime Liga MX player, played for Santos there in Torreon, along with Dorados of Sinaloa.
Austin has not been able to find insurance. Andre Lima is not convinced that's 10 yards. Vom Steeg on his line. Into the wall. Lima wants a handball, not going to get that.
Poorly taken from Lima. Wall did its job perfectly.
McFarland. Good to see him on his feet after we saw him a couple of times down on the pitch.
It was a physical first half. I don't know which side that favors. Austin maybe more size, but the speed definitely on the side of Los Dos. Brafide, who's instigator in the first half, fouled here to start the second.
And Soto with a handful of the kit will receive the yellow for his efforts.
Josue Soto from Querétaro in Liga MX.
Yellow card presented to
easy
Austin
call
Bold,
right
number
there.
20, Josue Soto in the 50th minute.
As Mo Kamara, the aggrieved party.
Kamara by him. The only way Soto was going to be able to keep him anywhere close by was via the foul.
Nate Schultz is as close to an Iron Man as Los Dos has had this year. Kamara with 2 Bold defenders, plays this off Soto, wants the handball, but will have to settle for a corner kick.
Kamara, the Liberian, tons of speed. Los Dos happy to see him getting more involved offensively.
This is your second half sub. Iloski. Left-footed delivery towards that back post. Nicely done by Iloski, but Harvey a tad tall.
Beautiful service from Orlowski, and you see how unhappy Diego Restrepo is, and rightfully so. A man wide open at the top of the 6, and you simply cannot let that happen. Very fortunate that that ball was not put on frame.
Austin fans would rather have an unhappy Diego Restrepo with a 1-goal lead than an unhappy Restrepo moments after an equalizer found by the visitors.
Austin needs to shore things up defensively. Starting to see a few cracks on the back line from the Bold.
And well played to slow down the attack of Austin. As Fidesz again able to step in. Will it be the Bold finding insurance, or will LA do what they did last time here in Austin? Finding an equalizer, finding a lead, finding insurance, and taking the full 3 points out of the capital city. Soto. And this will be a corner for his Bold.
Nicely done from Josue Soto. Good overlapping run down the near touchline. Chumasi just put it to him in space and able to win the corner.
Well, Javi Baez, from the opening match of this inaugural season for the Bold, has been a force to be reckoned with in that midfield. A lot of skill in those boots. Baez. And LA has the answer. Taylor sends it back into the masses, and that's where Vom Steeg will intervene. Four shutouts for Vom Steeg this year. in his first 16 affairs between those posts. And he and Eric Lopez have gotten the bulk of the minutes in frame this year. Emma, your lone goal scorer for either team so far. Guadarrama into space. Schultz trying to stand in the way, slips through the wickets. It'll go wide. A corner kick coming up for Austin. Schultz did just enough to make sure that ball did not get back to his keeper.
Chomasi so good running at defenders with the ball at his boots, able to make something happen. But this all set up by a fantastic ball into space from Sonny Guadarrama. Deflected out corner coming from Austin. We'll see if Baez can put this one in a dangerous spot.
Justin Baumstieg taking time for a thank you for his 23-year-old defender, former Akron Zip. Baez with the wind at his back. Sion McFarland. Insurance has arrived here in the state capitol.
The Jamaican who came into this match leading the Bold with 12 assists, only 2 goals, picks up his 3rd goal, and what a massive goal for Austin. Able to double their advantage less than 10 minutes into the second half, and dedicating that one, no doubt, to his former teammate, Promise Isaac. On the spot ball going all the way through. McFarland didn't get it with the head, but able to put the right boot to it.
Yeah, it looked like this ball first found Hilliard Arce and then fell to McFarland.
And to have the wherewithal to put that ball where he did, right inside the post, you're falling away. Fantastic finish from Sion McFarland Jr.
3rd goal this year for McFarland. And those 12 assists, remember, he's just a defender.
Just a defender. 3 goals, 12 assists, not bad.
Junior Gonzalez will use his 2nd substitution of the night now with their season in danger. As Omar Ontiveros comes on, got the Texan into the lineup now here tonight. Ontiveros from South Texas near RGV over there in Pharr, Texas, PHRR. His last stop was with RGV.
Ontiveros back in his home state. See if he can spark the comeback. Still a lot of time remaining in this match. Austin thought with this veteran side, the experience that they provided, if they were able to make it into the playoffs in their first year, that they would be able to go for a good run. Off to a good start here, 56th minute.
Well, Schultz had a nice moment before coming off the pitch, briefly with that stop, but it set up the corner kick that Austin was able to capitalize upon. Baez finding McFarland.
Austin yet to make a change. So far, I would say keep this status quo as long as you can. Certainly talent off the bench. Jorge Troncoso, the Chilean who broke his leg earlier, he's back on the bench. He brings speed. Got Acosta, the youngster, Tuahene also with a ton of speed, all loan from FC Dallas, and another local product in Chris Tierpak.
2 matches against LA this year, 2 losses for the Austin Bold. They saw that halftime 1-0 lead in August evaporate. Not tonight. They found insurance finally here in the second half.
Hard to beat a team 3 times in a row, but this one far from over.
Austin, your 8 seed, LA, your 9 seed here in the West.
LA just hasn't played a particularly great match thus far. They can change things.
Who wants it more? Ontiveros fresh into the match. Corner kick for Austin.
Well done, and Austin playing the team with that counter, something you rarely see, and that's what Chomasi gives you. Put the ball in space, let number 45 run onto it.
Will it be deja vu for the Bold? Baez has certainly played this role before. Javi. And this ball will be given back to Los Dos. Well, Select is the official ball supplier of the USL Championship and many of the finest leagues in the world. Since 1947, Select has been the leader in soccer ball quality and innovation. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit selectsportamerica.com. How many of the diehard viewers at this point, not even realizing it, were mouthing that last read word for word? Top of the 18. And Restrepo was in no man's land. But nobody there to work with Oloski.
Give Austin credit, the midfield, they're getting back, taking care of their defensive responsibilities. They're not getting caught forward up the pitch when the team goes to attack. They know they have to sell out. Season on the line tonight.
Reese with a souvenir ball, back into touch. It remains with LA. A goal in each half for the Austin Bold. For the inaugural side in its first trip to the postseason.
It's been a history-making year. They won the inaugural version of the Copa Tejas, that trophy between the Texas sides and USL Championship. They made it the furthest in the USL Open Cup, or the US Open Cup, than any Austin team ever has. Fell in the 4th round to Houston. And they continue their playoff run.
Kamara. Well, this was an Austin side that was put together with 3 titles in mind. They came up short in their pursuit of the US Open Cup. They claimed the Copa Tejas, and that 3rd trophy is still on the table.
Unlike a lot of first-year teams, they were very upfront from the very beginning. They said they wanted to compete for a league title. They weren't going to wait till league or till year 2 or year 3. They wanted to do it in year 1.
Charleston, I'm being told, is going to form a minority government of its own. They advance on the shootout after 120 minutes. And that will not go without a souvenir.
It was just a matter of time before Edson Brofheid saw yellow. And there it is, a clear foul from behind, stopping the play. Former Dutch international now joining Soto and Lima in the book.
And is that a reflection of Austin being the elder statesman on the pitch, at times unable to match some of the speed?
And that's what you saw there. Not necessarily a bad foul in that situation. You're clearly beating the man getting closer to the top of the 18. Why not commit the professional foul as Brofheid does in this situation? Especially when you consider the ball at the boots of one of the best for Los Dos and Kai Koreniak.
Again, no substitutions have been used by Austin. 2 for LA. You wonder at what point Serrano goes ahead and uses a sub on a man who's picked up a yellow. Austin finished down 2 men back in August against LA.
A little bit too fancy there on the free kick. Restrepo, who's dealt with injuries all season long. Saw him pre-match. He's working on that left knee. He's a warrior.
Diego is a part of that second longest shutout streak in this league's history back in 2017. 672 minutes from late April to mid-June. You know who ended that was a certain Sion McFarland Jr.
He made sure to tell me about it when I spoke with him on Monday. That was one of the trivia questions that he had on the radio show.
He ended San Antonio's 14-match unbeaten streak back in that campaign. And now he's one of the 4 backsides that Restrepo stares at 90 minutes a night.
I think he's a little happier to have him on his side than the other way around.
Back over to LA, who has to find a way in this final half hour to make sure it's not the final 30 minutes of their 2019 season. don't know if you noticed, Kleber, a spectator tonight, sneaking down a little closer look. Out on the wing, sent into traffic. It'll be a corner kick coming up for the visitors.
Austin defensively not as sure as they were in the first half. There are chances here for Los Dos. Can they pull one back?
I misspoke earlier. I thought it was Jose Hernandez who had been pulled for Iloski. Sent into the masses. And this will remain with LA.
2 misses trying to clear that one. Soto wisely sends it out into touch.
They'll do it again.
Austin back defending for the longest stretch they have in the match thus far. Not a team that parks the bus, but you have to find that balance between taking care of defense and keeping this 2-0 lead, but you can't defend for the next 28 minutes.
Everybody forward for LA, trying to cut this deficit in half.
This is the longest stretch of possession in the final third that Los Dos have had the entire match.
Reese.
The patience from Los Dos, promising. This is what they want to see. Take your time, keep possession, don't force anything.
They're on the heels of that victory against El Paso 2-0 in the season finale. Chumasi thinking about a brace.
A touch too many from number 45. He looked to go inside, then he tried to pull it back out. That gave the defender the ability to poke it away. Great vision from Andre Lima. Great searching ball. And Chumasi, this is a situation. As fast as you are, just go straight at the defender. Mistake was bringing it back in.
Graphite playing on a yellow. In pursuit. Hernandez eyes up the pitch towards the spawn. Guadarrama finally got it into space for McFarland to consider a run.
So Gustavo Ricci, the Brazilian on loan from Cruzeiro, able to head it away. Young, talented, great size, plays good in the air. He's really shored up that back line that's dealt with injuries. You pair that with McFarland, who presses forward. Ricci and Taylor take care of the defensive responsibilities. At times, Austin just playing 2 in the back.
Another opportunity lost for the visiting side, down by a pair.
Again, Ricci, the man there, able to get just enough to it before Soto sent it up the other way.
The last team to come to Austin this year and beat the Bold, that was Reno. Of course, that could very well be the next date for the Bold if they're able to hang on here against LA. Phoenix, the other potential dance partner for these teams. One 0 at halftime. The second goal finally arrived for the Bold here in the second half. And finally, the foul will buy Austin some time and breathing room.
I said it early when Austin was dominant in the first 20 minutes. How would they be? How would those legs hold up when you got to the 60th, the 70th minute? Starting to see Tired legs from Austin. They've yet to make a change, and you wonder how long that'll be the case before Austin elects to make their first substitution.
Diego Restrepo, very mindful of how much time is on that clock. Looking for Lima. The offside flag is up. Well, of course, the 2019 USL Championship Final promises to be the biggest in league history. You can tune in Sunday, November 17th, 7:30 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2 for the biggest match of the 2019 campaign. It's the Beasts of the East and the Best from the West closing out the season as Vom Steeg able to keep this a 2-goal deficit.
Steeg almost dropped that one right into the path. Imachuamasi shot from a tight angle from Josue Soto. Steeg able to get it on the second attempt.
In that final November 17th, 7:30 Eastern on ESPN2.
Beautiful shoulder-to-shoulder tackle there from Taylor, able to win it.
And Vom Steeg comes off his line, does not leave this to chance.
The only opportunities from Austin in the last 10 minutes have come via the counter-attack. And field is completely switched from what we saw in the first half, where Austin was the aggressor. Now it's Los Dos chasing this 2-goal Austin lead.
Of course, last 2 years, Louisville has been the ultimate site for the final game in this league. Let's see if Mike and Devin get a new destination to fly to this year. Along with the ESPN2 crew. And LA all of a sudden down to final 20 minutes of the 2019 campaign. Needing at least 2 goals to buy themselves more time. Ontiveros, one of your second half changes.
Everyone for the Bold back defending.
Again, Kit, 3 of those men in black are sitting on 1 yellow tonight.
This is what Austin has to do. All 10 field players are going to have to get into the act defensively.
Lima. And stripped right back by Alosky.
That's the issue when everyone's back defending. How do you break out of that shell?
Harvey has found a way to get one past Restrepo already this year, but not this time.
That was optimistic at best. Not the touch Harvey was looking for. He had the chance, a man with tons of power on his shot. Easily saved by Restrepo.
And it appears as though Marcelo Serrano will dip into his bench for the first time tonight, as it'll be one local favorite for another. Chris Tierpak, the super sub with so many memories this year alone in his career, will come on for Sonny G.
No surprise there. One native Austinite for another. Cedar Park giving way to Dripping Springs. Spear the headband now on the pitch for Austin.
No Bold player had a better goal per minute played ratio than Chris Tierpak with his 9 goals in under 1,500 minutes this year. It'll be his 14th appearance off the bench, 28th showing overall for Austin.
Played for the Austin Aztecs, Chivas USA, San Antonio FC, Miami FC. An instant energy boost off the bench, what Austin needs in this situation. Fresh legs. Will be here on the top left. They're going to be asking him to really press forward as Chuamasi will move into the center, taking Sonny G's spot.
Well, we're also set to see the return of Jorge Troncoso for the first time since breaking his leg in the opening month of the season.
Talk about speed. The Chilean grew up in that Colo-Colo U system, has it in spades. The question is he fully recovered from that gruesome injury earlier this year?
He comes on for Javi Baez.
We have an alteration being made for the Austin Bold. Moving to pitch number 8, Javi Baez.
What a job from Baez. The engine room of this team, he does it all. A lot of times he doesn't end up in the book. Tonight with the assists. What a fantastic performance from Javi Baez.
Welcome back, Jorge Troncoso. Started his career, of course, with Colo-Colo, the 26-year-old. Last year in the Primera B in his home country. Kamara calling for the foul.
Very nicely done by Rizzi. He's able to shield that one out. The shove in the back, and he will gladly take the fouls. It takes even more time off the clock.
Let's check back in with Jessica.
Hey guys, so we saw a lot of substitutions there. Really, there was only one change for Gonzalez. They were trying to push Ontiveros, the right back, forward a lot more, as you see Austin bunkering in. But now, with less than 20 minutes left, 15 to go, he's making a lot of changes, and so is Coach Serrano trying to get those fresh legs onto the field to finish this out.
And what a job Junior has done this year. Same ingredients that they started the year with for the most part. He'll make his final personnel change unless somehow this goes to extra time, as Augustine Williams, who found that penalty goal against Austin to give them the lead. He had that game winner back in August.
Williams on taking the spot of Fides.
22-year-old out of Sierra Leone.
But Austin in the situation not making offensive or defensive substitutions. They're bringing on 2 men with primarily offensive weapons.
Not sure if parking the bus and F1 racing go together, as dual yellows. Chuamasi as well as Hernandez.
Not quite sure how Chuamasi ends up in the book for that one, as Hernandez clearly a handful of jersey previous. Our referee either didn't see it or he just let play continue. Chuamasi may have had a few words after it, but the initial infraction was all on the part of Hernandez. And if Chuamasi ended up in the book for words he said, he simply has to keep his emotions in better check.
You have a younger brother. Was it just him who got the lecture, or did both of you from your mom?
Well put.
Chuamasi still with the game winner at the moment. Many of those 8 clean sheets mounted at the start of the season for Diego Restrepo and the Bold. They certainly had their dog days of summer. Points were hard to come by at times, and what went from almost a guaranteed result at home had some California sides come into town, not just raise property values, but also affect the loss column a few times around. And access denied. This will be a throw.
That being said, Bold Stadium still, it's been a tough place for visitors to come into. It was a fortress earlier in this season, impossible to get a result, and You don't ever want to see this here. Kamara and Soto, and
well, Soto needs to be careful in those. And Kamara obviously feels like he's been the victim of several exchanges throughout the night. And the question is, if there will be any further discussion. Of course, he has one of his ARs within earshot. Francisco Bermudez and Matt Trotter. Matt here on the near side. Veteran Luis Guardia is at the table tonight as your fourth official.
Kamara in the book, and it appears he's going to be the only one, at least for the time being.
Tierpak went right at Mo.
It's been a physical match from the opening whistle and really starting to amp up.
Will he look for the corner or look for the fireworks? Chuamasi. Left-footed delivery denied, point blank. Corner kick coming up for the Bold.
Second time we've seen that from Chuamasi, giving the defender the opportunity to get in a better position. I know he's gassed. He's been up and down the pitch the entire match. But as fast as he is, I still think he'd be better served just to take that one right to goal as quickly as he can, as opposed to letting that defender drop back.
Depew able to get the foot on it. No Javi Baez. He has checked out for the rest of the night. It'll be Emma Chuamasi trying to spread the wealth.
Chance to catch his breath.
No short option here for Austin. And this stays with Troncoso and the Bold. Lima, back to Jorge. Chuamasi! Corner kick coming up for Austin. Just able to get a foot on it on Taveros.
Great combination. The link play between Andre Lima and Jorge Troncoso. Beautiful ball, just right to Troncoso. Took it first touch. Chuamasi again, the danger man.
Taveros, that was close your eyes and hope. That ball found his heel.
Native Texan, lucky it did.
Edson Brafon. Looking for the icing on the cake here in the final 10 minutes. And that back line picks up Justin Baumsteeg. And how's this for a counter? Elowski just off the mark. Restrepo barking at his back line, but they're not in the clear just yet. Ontiveros sends one in. Ostos still with 10 minutes for a comeback on the road tonight here in the postseason.
Oh, what a turn that would have been. Baumsteeg, almost a huge blunder. Then on the other end, Los Dos almost able to find one. Maybe they will.
And that ball just didn't have enough pace.
Austin fans have always known the caliber, the quality that Andre Lima has, but since he's gotten fully fit late in the season, he is just a different player.
Moments ago, that close. Soto able to track that ball down with a jog.
Soto's had an outstanding game. Another one of those players who oftentimes flies under the radar. His contributions, not tonight.
Keon McFarland's already made an impact tonight.
he doesn't have an impact. Those are the rare games.
And a corner kick here.
Soto doing a very good job measuring that one, waiting until the opportunity presented itself.
The 24-year-old Olowski with 4 assists on the year, looking for a memorable number 5.
Chumasi wanted that ball up to him. He wanted it played quickly from Restrepo. Restrepo wisely taking time off the clock.
Yeah, we've yet to see Austin sprint towards a flag. Chumasi onside. In line for your game winner tonight.
Incredible thing about Mitchell Chumasi, that blazing speed we saw from him on that first goal. It is his same speed we saw on that last run right there. He has not slowed down a bit.
Final substitution for the Bold will be Toma Daviardi coming on in place of Edson Brafide, who again was playing on a yellow.
Good decision here. Daviardi, a defender, defensive midfielder. Brings experience as well, and Brafide and in a lot of those tussles this evening, heads to the bench.
25-year-old was featured regularly second half of the season in that starting lineup, primarily in the midfield, but also on the back line. Troncoso. Again, he played in those opening 8 matches, has been rehabbing ever since.
That's really the first of Austin's subs, the third and final sub that was a offensive or defensive change. Brafide more offensively minded than Daviardi. Troncoso and Tierpack the first 2. Scores.
Daviardi with a rocket. Knocked down by Vom Steeg.
And just as I say, an offensive or defensive change, Daviardi says, I'll show you.
Well, neither of these teams wanted to be in this matchup. They were hoping to begin their postseason this weekend. Austin, for the longest time, sat in that 4 spot in the West, on pace to host in the opening round. But they were among the 10 teams in the West able to continue their year. Only one of them will move on to face either Phoenix or Reno this weekend. And just not on the same page there.
Chumasi's had a monster game. Certainly, in my estimation, the MVP or one of them for the Austin players, able to track that one down.
As Ontiveros will win this back for his keeper.
Time of the essence for Los Dos. Season on the line. It's at the point where they have to throw everything forward, conceding another goal.
In LA with 5 wins, 6 losses, 6 draws on the road. Much more successful than Austin was away from home. And Bold got the benefit with the tiebreaker of hosting this matchup. Tierpack trying to have one more memory here in his backyard. Chumasi, kick save from Vom Steeg. Corner kick coming up again for the Bold.
Man, John wondering why he can't find the second. He's done it all tonight. A great save from Vom Steeg.
The netminder for LA has had an answer so often tonight. And now perhaps addressing the clock. Oh, Toma will send it in. Three minutes plus whatever stoppage time is due. Again, as the USL and the USL Championship continue to grow, of course, the USL proud to unveil its elite youth platform, that being the USL Academy, innovative new platform allowing clubs at all levels across the USL to develop its local youth talent, compete at the highest level across the United States. That includes the National USL Academy Cup. For more information, you can visit uslsoccer.com/academy. It's all a part of growing the game at each level.
Great stuff there from the USL. Having those academies, growing the caliber of young players. Let's be honest, that's exactly what we need in this country. Hopefully some of those players will be representing their red, white, and blue someday.
We've already seen some benefits in the Central Texas area, thanks to the presence of the Bold. Restrepo will handle this one. Less than a month away from crowning a champion here in 2019. They'll play the advantage. Eyes up the pitch, Olowski. He'll be fouled, taken out by Daviardi.
Daviardi saying that he was able to get the ball. Then the man will have to take another look. Olowski has brought a lot. He's coming on. He brings great speed. You mentioned all his starts early in the season. One of the better opportunities here. Of course, Dos is going to get back into this one. You have to imagine it's going to start in this set piece, and it has to with such little time remaining.
LA is 25 yards away from cutting this deficit in half. Stoppage time still pending. Olowski into the wall. This one in touch, as we'll inform you, there will be no fewer than 3 minutes of time added here in regulation.
The fourth official has indicated there will be a minimum of 3 minutes of added time in the second half.
Diego Restrepo finds the perfect blade of grass. Again, that championship on ESPN2, all of it part of the extension with ESPN and ESPN family of networks. It'll continue on through the 2022 season, as both the championship and League One will remain with the leader in sports for 3 more years. ESPN Plus continues to be the home of all things USL, and at least 19 matches a year featured on the ESPN family of networks, including 9 matches on ESPN Deportes. You can continue to follow, support, and watch your club on ESPN and ESPN Plus. Of course, that includes here in the postseason. Los Dos down to 2 minutes here in 2019. As Restrepo will keep it away from Augustine Williams, who found a penalty on this half of the pitch in a second half comeback effort back in August.
Give Austin credit. This has been a different Bold side tonight. They've not given Los Dos opportunities to get back into this match. They've dominated. They haven't had the lull that they so often had this season. It's been a complete game performance from Austin.
Only twice this year did Austin follow a loss with a second loss. They ended the season this year at Tacoma with that 3-1 decision going against them. But there will be no losing streak here. Barring a miraculous effort in this final 60 seconds, handball called on the visitors. I want to take the moment to thank our entire crew that's been Austin-based this year for these broadcasts here on ESPN+. Carl Martin back in the truck along with Nate, Dustin, John, our intern Scott, and some brave men and women who have endured some chilly conditions at times here in the Hill Country, especially in that opening month. Tierpak helped guide the city to a national championship in the PDL. Soon after, helped ushered in pro soccer with the Aztecs. Back this year with the emergence of the Austin Bold, who will move on to the first round of the USL playoffs this next weekend. The inaugural season continues for the Bold.
Well-deserved victory from Austin from start to finish. They were the better side. They came out on a mission. They executed and able to come away with the results. Season continues for Austin.
A 9th clean sheet on the year for Diego Restrepo. Emma Tuamasi with the game winner in that first half early. An 11th minute to remember for a teammate that'll never be forgotten. And Promise Isaac. And then insurance from Sion McFarland on a beautiful corner kick delivery from Javi Baez.
On our upcoming playoff game.
Let's check in with Jessica.
Hi, Emma, congratulations. Man of the match, fantastic goal, fantastic performance. Great first win for the Bold in the postseason. What was working tonight for you guys?
I think we came out hungry. You know, this is our first year as a franchise. First time being in the playoffs, but we got a bunch of experienced guys on the team, and we came here to do our job, and our job was to win and progress. So we did that. Now we got to go back to the drawing board and prepare for our next game.
This was a pretty complete performance. You did start off fast, but you kept the momentum the whole game. What do you feel like you need to improve on before the next matchup?
We just got to go watch film, study our opponent, see what they do best, but also it was a good performance from our team, but obviously we can get better. I had a couple chances I should have finished. You know, we never satisfied for anything, so we just got to finish our chances in the next game to progress.
Congratulations on this win. Great win.
Thank you.
All right, back up to you, Lincoln.
Emma said hungry, of course. He has teammates who have played in World Cups and Olympics, but he, the 22-year-old, was a mid-season addition for the Austin Bold. Finds his 4th goal on the year, and with that, Austin continues into the first round this week. And now, mind you, they do not yet know their opponent. Sacramento, the 7 seed, hosts New Mexico United tonight. If Sacramento prevails, Austin will head to Phoenix. If New Mexico United picks up the victory, Austin heads to Reno.
Austin, even though they had less possession, they did it from start to finish. Fantastic work. 7 shots on target. Tuamasi, a huge part of that offense. The defense, everyone on the back line, the midfield did their job. A complete game performance, and that's why Austin was able to come away with the win tonight.
One final time here at Bold Stadium. Fortune favors the Bold as the inaugural side moves on to the first round of the Western Conference playoffs in the USL Championship. For Jessica Stamp, Kip McConico, and our entire crew, I'm Lincoln Rose. The Bold 2-0 avenge a pair of losses in the regular season against Los Dos to end the 2019 campaign from the California side. And Austin Bold marches on. Opponent to be determined. They'll know by the end of the night.
Copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.